You know that feeling, right? You've been staring at a screen all day and there it is again. That dull headache, that gritty feeling in your eyes, that tightness in your neck. You've probably tried everything, blue light filters, eye drops, stretching, but it just keeps coming back. Well, what if I told you the real problem isn't what you think it is at all? We're going to dive into a hidden link that might just change everything. Just take a look at this list. Does any of it ring a bell? Persistent headaches, constantly feeling like you need eye drops, that general sense of strain and fatigue. Maybe you've even got that weird neck and shoulder pain that no amount of stretching seems to fix. You blame your posture, maybe you blame a long day, but the relief, if you get any, never seems to last. So if all the usual suspects and common fixes aren't cutting it, it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? Could we be looking in the completely wrong place? What if all these separate, annoying problems are actually symptoms of one single underlying issue? An issue that starts with your eyes. Well, here it is. The surprising culprit for so many people is a tiny, subtle misalignment between their two eyes. We're talking about something so small, it often goes completely unnoticed in a regular eye exam. But that tiny misalignment forces your brain and all those little eye muscles to work on overdrive, all day, every day, just to give you one clear picture of the world. The official name for this is binocular vision dysfunction. It's a bit of a mouthful, but the concept is simple. Your eyes just aren't a perfect team. When you look at something, each eye sends a slightly different image to your brain. Your brain's job is to stitch those two images together seamlessly. But when your eyes are even a little out of sync, your brain has to constantly fight to create that single clear image. And this really shows you what's going on. With aligned vision, it's effortless. Your brain just gets the picture. But with misaligned vision, your visual system is basically running a marathon from the moment you wake up. Imagine trying to listen to two different songs, one in each ear, and force them into a single melody in your head. It's exhausting, and that constant strain, that exhaustion, is what triggers the symptoms. Okay, so how does eye muscle strain lead to something like neck pain or that dry, gritty feeling? It sounds like a stretch, right? Well, the answer lies in a crucial piece of wiring in your head, the trigeminal nerve. This breaks down the chain reaction perfectly. It all starts with that misalignment. That causes the constant muscle strain, and that strain starts to irritate and overstimulate the trigeminal nerve, which, by the way, is the biggest and most complex nerve in your head. When that nerve gets overworked, a state some call trigeminal dysphoria, it starts sending out all sorts of distress signals. And those signals manifest as headaches, neck pain, and this is key, it can actually mess with functions like tear production, causing that dry eye feeling. And look, this isn't just a theory. There's real science to back this up. Research from the NIH, for example, found a direct biological link. In this study on mice, they discovered that disrupting the sensory nerves on the surface of the eye, nerves that are all part of that trigeminal system, directly caused a reduction in tears. It's powerful evidence showing how an overstimulated nerve can create a very real physical symptom like dry eye. So if the root of the problem is a misalignment, then the solution has to be about correcting that alignment, right? This is where a really interesting technology called Neurolens comes into the picture. It's a type of lens specifically designed to tackle this exact problem. Now, you might be thinking, what about prism glasses? And that's a great question. But here's the difference. Traditional prisms have one single fixed correction. They're good for big alignment issues. Neurolens, on the other hand, uses what's called a contoured prism. The correction actually changes from the top of the lens to the bottom. This gives your eyes the exact support they need whether you're looking far away, at your computer, or down at your phone. It's custom built for our modern, screen-filled lives. Okay, the technology sounds cool for sure, but does it actually work? Let's take a look at what the studies and the patient data have to say. This chart is from a 2022 study. Researchers used a standard questionnaire to score patients' dry eye symptoms. Before Neurolens, the average score was up there at 47.2. After getting the lenses, it dropped all the way to 38. Now, that might just seem like numbers, but that's a statistically significant drop. For the people in the study, that's a real, noticeable improvement in their daily comfort. In that same study, they also just asked patients a simple question, did this help? And look at the results. A solid 69%, that's more than 2/3 of people, said yes, they felt a real improvement in their symptoms. That's a huge deal. And when you zoom out from that one study and look at the broader data, the number is even more incredible. A whopping 93% of patients report that they responded positively to wearing Neurolens. Many of them describe the relief as dramatic. 93%? So, with all of this in mind, it really comes down to one question. Could this be the path to comfort that you've been looking for all this time? So who is this for? Well, if you're an office worker or a student, you're a prime candidate. If you spend hours and hours every day on a computer or phone, definitely. If you get headaches that seem to be triggered by reading or screen time, bingo. And if you have that stubborn neck and shoulder tension, or you're just someone who has tried everything else for eye strain and nothing has worked, this might finally be your answer. So, the next time that headache starts to creep in, or you find yourself reaching for those eye drops for the 10th time in a day, just ask yourself this. Maybe the problem isn't just stress or a lack of sleep. Maybe the answer isn't in another bottle of pills or another trip to the chiropractor. Maybe, just maybe, eye alignment is the missing piece of your entire comfort puzzle.